Hello! Welcome, everybody. Adjust that a little bit. There we go. There we are. Hello! Hi, folks. Welcome. Sadly, Mr. Christopher Zito could not make it. He had a little bit of an emergency he had to tend to. He sends his apologies. I will certainly have him on in the future. But not today. Today you're stuck with just me. Sorry about that. But you'll live. You'll deal with just me as your single person to chat with, and you'll like it. I hope. That's the great white hope. Few things have happened in the last week or so. I had a very quiet weekend. Nothing too outlandish or anything. I've been trying to get light amounts of work done as best as I can, without hurting my arm and everything. I did, in the time between last stream, I did go ahead and get that MRI scan, the orthographic, what is it called again? Fluoroscopic orthography MRI. That's what it's called, where they injected my whole right shoulder with dye in order to better see it on the scan and everything. So, and this Friday I'm going to be seeing a shoulder specialist to hopefully find out what the hell to do about that in tandem with the issue with my wrist and everything. Because I don't know, for all I know, my wrist might be healed. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. And it might just come down to the pain is mainly now in whatever's going on with my shoulder / back / shoulder blade. I could not tell you. I'm figuring. Oh, I love this song. We're gonna talk about Final Fantasy VII again in a minute. Can I just say, while this song is playing and I'm reminded of it, the chase sequence, the motorcycle chase sequence, goddamn, I don't think I knew much about that from the original game, but it's fantastic, and the remake version of it is one of the coolest sequences I've ever seen in any video game in my life, and good lord. My avatar is amazing. Thank you, Gomagora. That's very kind of you. But, yeah, so I hope I'll get some good news from the specialist when I go in. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But I appreciate all y'all's patience with me, so, In the meantime, yeah, so that's one thing going on. I've been trying to figure out, just other things that I can do, while I'm kind of indisposed with my condition and everything. I actually had thought about, somebody had brought up to me, I think it was one of you guys, either in the last chat or maybe in the Q&A that we did in the Patreon Discord. That's patreon.com/Kerbifer. Somebody asked about, didn't you want to do some kind of content with the 3 Kerbifers as a group? And I did. I was thinking about, what could I do with that? And separately from that, I had thought about the idea of doing a game review show, because that's one of those prerequisite YouTube things that I've never tried really doing, and there were a few games in particular that I'm a huge fan of that I've seen little to no actual content of. So, it was Leopard Day. Yes, thank you, Lemon Bun, I appreciate it. Yes, thank you for that reminder. So I was thinking today, I was like, that actually is something that I could do that wouldn't require a tremendous usage of my arms. So maybe I might try that at some point. I'd have to write some scripts and figure some things out. And also, what I would want to do is I'd want to get what's it called? One of those VR things that you use for your hands, because I know that my model is built to have hand tracking on it. It can have hand tracking on it, but I've not got the device that you have. I know that Raccoon over on twitch.tv/ Devin and Raccoon, I think maybe, has the ability to move his hands around and stuff, and mine are just stationary. I just kind of, move back and forth like this when I don't get caught on something. So maybe I'll look into that. We shall see. So what about things like Jackbox? I have to buy Jackbox to be able to do that. That's true. That could be maybe at some point. Maybe with some friends involved. We'll see. But yeah, I was thinking about maybe I'd have to see like how how like involved it would be to do the editing and everything. But I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. Never say never. We'll see. So that's one thing. And it would be a limited series, certainly. It would be a limited, series of review episodes. Hey, this theme. I used to use this for TTA all the time. Hi-oh. Excuse me. You could buy me Jackbox, Kasai Okami. Well, that's very kind of you. But don't be throwing money at me just yet. Let me just figure some stuff out first. I should probably move my microphone closer to my goddamn mouth. Not that I'm not loud enough for y'all already. So I've been continuing to watch through the Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff. I finished the base game stuff of Remake. I watched the Yuffie DLC, and I've started Crisis Core. So the Yuffie DLC was pretty cool, I gotta say. Was actually like way more cool than I thought. And I was like, wow, okay, I actually really like this. I kind of figured that 7 was gonna have Yuffie just like part of the main story. Like she wasn't just gonna be optional, like her and Vincent would be like, you'd have to get them no matter what, which is fine by me, because I mean, I figured that would be part of the case. So, yeah, I really liked what they told, the little story that they told with her, a little fun group of folks. I did not give half a shit about Sonon, to be honest. He was very kind of whatever, so like, I was like, alright, whatever, by the end of that story with him. I was surprised about, and I guess I did know ahead of time that some of the Dirge of Cerberus characters were involved, but I'd forgotten about them, so I'm like, oh, there's Nero and Weiss. Cool. I enjoyed that. The music was really cool. Yuffie's adorable and hilarious and a goof. And she's one of those characters where, like, when people tell me, oh, it's like, Final Fantasy VII is supposed to be kind of wacky and goofy and weird and stuff, I was like, okay, like, through her, I kind of believe that. I more sort of understand the notion of that a little bit better, I guess you could say. I've been watching also, I think I mentioned I've been watching a playthrough of the original game, kind of side by side to that. And I've gotten up to when they get to the town of Calm, which I'm assuming is where Rebirth starts. So I've kind of paused on that for the time being, and I'm watching Crisis Core. I gotta admit, so far I am not enjoying watching Crisis Core. Maybe it gets better, but so far I think I'm like, I don't know, like an hour, 2 hours in, and it's boring me to death. Really bad, and I'm sad because I like Zack. I do not give a shit about Angeal or Genesis. They're both obnoxiously boring to me, to be honest. I know that the Turks get some screen time in that. I know that we get to see young Cloud. Oh, I've gotten up to where Aerith is and everything. But yeah, so far I'm just like, woof, this is rough. But I'm watching it because the fact that they did like this remaster of the game, and like fit it into the remake and everything, to me that reads as, okay, it's got to be probably required viewing, and especially since there seems to be some alternate universe type stuff. And you know what? Look, when you say nuclear takes, look, I'm not playing it. That's why I say I'm not enjoying watching it. Maybe playing it. Although I got to admit, even seeing the gameplay that I'm seeing, it's just like you go around and you just like fight enemies, and that's kind of it. And it's like, oh, all right. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot to this. It's like, it feels like Like, Kingdom Hearts feels more robust in terms of gameplay compared to this. I don't know. My model's adorable. Thank you. I've seen, apparently a lot of you guys are seeing my model for the first time, but thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Shout outs to GermGen, who created this. Actually, I'll go through my little expressions, because I guess probably some of you haven't seen them either, but I'm very happy when I like this. I'm kind of embarrassed when I like this. I'm surprised that I'm not enjoying Crisis Core as much as I thought I was going to be. I'm sad that I'm not enjoying it. I wish I was more. I look like I could be a Final Fantasy VII character, or maybe more like a Mega Man Legends character. Yeah. Whatever, I guess. See something I like? Maybe? So, has my plush been made yet? A poke. So I need to get in touch with the guys from Makeshift, because I actually haven't heard anything new since we did the campaign. But I know that they're supposed to be aiming for a spring release, based on what they were projecting to me, like when we first did the deal and everything. So I'm assuming I'll be hearing from them soon, and hopefully we'll be progressing. I'm probably going to have Toxic Soul do some further like concept sketches of like how the actual 3D sort of projection of how the doll will be and everything. But rest assured, y'all will be getting your plushies, and I'll be getting my own plushies that I bought for myself, because I did actually buy a few of them, and actually my family members bought some of them to send to me, because I'm going to take that stock and bring them with me to conventions in the future to sell there. So, current plush is going to travel the world with you, Coda? Oh, I hope so. Bring me to strange and interesting places that I've never been to, like Omaha, Nebraska. Yes, that'll be hopefully coming sooner rather than later. But I'll try to poke somebody out there. Do I get my own plush automatically? Well, I think that we usually get like the sort of like work in progress, like test version of it, but they don't guarantee you like, oh, you're gonna, like I bought like several of like for myself because I wanted to take them with me to cons and, sell them there as merch and stuff. So, yeah. Do I plan or wish to make any other plushes in the future? I mean, I'd be down. It'd be cool to do like Raccoon or Nylok or Zeto or something maybe, or balancing act characters if I ever got to that point with them. Who knows? I'd have to actually build up a little bit of a, fan base with that first. Can Kirby for plushie fit in the jar? I mean, possibly, but please don't do anything bad with the Kirby for plushie in a jar. Thank you. Oh, actually, real quick before I forget about this, speaking of balancing act, I actually got some feedback from another writer friend, finally, on the script. So I spoke with Andrew Allenson, who is one of the head creators of Y2K, a postmodern RPG. Good old Yick. Great writer. He took the time through his busy schedule of remastering the game, which we've got some cool stuff happening for with Y2K coming very, very, very soon, by the way. And being a dad, because he's a dad now, he took the time to read through my 200 plus page movie script for Balancing Act, and really enjoyed it. And he had very little criticism, actually. He was overall really enjoying it. He liked the beginning and the end, actually. Sky the Zinnian, if you ever meet me at a con, you want me to sign your Shao Poo Funko Pop? I would love to do that. I have some of my own Shao Poo Funko Pops as well, and I usually bring those with me to conventions to sell there. So hopefully at some point. Nonetheless. Yeah, so I got some feedback on it. We talked a little bit about some things regarding the villains too, actually, which I was asking because Alex, geez, I always accidentally call Andrew Alex because they're both A names and they're both associated with Y2K. Andrew is really good at like outlandish, like cool, kind of eccentric sort of things. And so I was like, hey, I'm thinking about maybe the idea of having some of the villains be like transformable in a certain sense, like being able to like expand and shrink like parts of their bodies or their size, like in order to befit different situations and things. Like they could, be different sizes that fit the necessity of whatever's happening in the scene. Maybe almost in like a DBZ, like, villain kind of transformative kind of way, or something like that. So those are the last characters. I've been continuing to commission Toxic Soul, Michaela, to design more of the characters for the movie. In fact, she's actually going to be designing a couple coming up very soon, one of which is actually the mother of one of the main characters, who's an important character to the story. And but I'm saving those particular villains for last, and because I wanted to situate some things kind of creatively about them, and get to that point eventually. But yeah, so I've had, I think by now, I've had like maybe 3 or 4 different people read the script. One of them was a gentleman named Carey, who's like a professional like Hollywood screenwriter. He's written like movies and shit. And another one was Alex Kane, who is the writer of Dust and Elysian Tale and a bunch of video game stuff. He's awesome. He's an old friend. Santana, who is the basis of the character Ruri, which eventually became Kizuna, which eventually became Tiger Lily, who voiced Ruri and Neko Neko in Parody Rangers back in the day. She's a professional writer as well. She read through it a long time ago. She read like the like unhinged like long draft that had like all the stage directions and like all that kind of stuff in it. So yeah, I think those 4 have read through it so far, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a couple more people that I would like to get some feedback from first. On that same note, I have also been attempting. So over the weekend, I got dinner with Mike Rocco, who is an animation director for Spindle Horse. He's worked on Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss and stuff. And he was telling me, because he actually had a pretty bad injury on his hand, I think like late last year, something like that. And he actually started trying to draw a little bit with his left hand. And he was saying, well, listen, if you want to at least try doing just something as simple as like thumbnails for like, like just, to begin storyboarding a little bit of stuff with the movie, try drawing with your left hand. Like, why not? So I attempted to do that for a couple days. It's not easy, and I hate how it looks for the most part, but it's something, so I'm going to try little by little to do a little bit of work on that every day, just to do like a few thumbnails, just to progress things a little tiny bit and see how that goes, we'll see. But yeah, Rocco, if those of you who don't know, Rocco also, he used to do some voices for me. He animated on the Nintendo collabs. He did the Ice Climber segment. He did the Duck Hunt segment. He was supposed to he animated all of a Punch-Out segment that was in the 3rd one that never got finished, unfortunately, because we were busy with our last year of college. Yeah, I've known him since college. He's a great guy. Been through a whole lot together, him and I. And so yeah, I'm slowly but surely coming through with that. Who is it? Somebody asked. Tony Macaroni asked, when would Balancing Act come out, you think? Is it uncertain right now? Well, yeah, it's uncertain because I haven't like started on it yet. I've because of my injury with my hands and my ARF and everything. Yeah, sorry for the sniffs, by the way. Hold on, let me just blow my nose real quick. Pardon me. Glad you all had to hear that. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, because of my my injury and the unknown recovery period of that, I don't know when I'll be able to start on it like for real. I would say working on it will probably take me like, if I had to guess, because most of my long form projects take me about 4 years. So if I had to guess, maybe something like that. But it's indie, so who knows? And I would definitely be like showing it as I'm making it, so that it wouldn't just be like, all right, see you in 4 years or whatever. Like, I would want to continue to show, the sequences as I continue to finish them. So, like the parts of it would almost kind of be like episodic sort of installments or whatever. And, so, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Nonetheless, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Hopefully again, while I'm in this sort of limbo state, I'll be getting some more feedback from other people, on the script, in the meantime, etc. And, yeah, I would like to be able to do more than what I'm capable of. But again, like when I was saying before, I was thinking about, what other things can I do that don't involve my hands as bad, and etc. So who knows? Just trying to focus on getting better and not going insane in the meantime. So, let's see what else. I actually got to record some stuff. I have some more voice recording going on. I've been working on a new live action dub for a show, which I don't know if it'll be out this year, but that's been fun to work on. I've got another gig coming up probably in April. So, I've had a few voiceover gigs here and there since the year started. I don't necessarily know how much of them are things that are like necessarily going to be exciting for like fans to know. They're not like, this big character from this thing or whatever necessarily. But they're fun. They're fun bits of work with really cool people that I love getting to work with and everything. And obviously I can't talk about them yet, but I'll be shouting them from the rooftops when they come out, and probably on my Twitter at some point. So, I will say, putting this out into the world a little bit, somebody brought up the Shawapoof Funko Pop earlier. I hope that a combination of, if that Hunter x Hunter video game that's coming out, a lot of anime games have been getting dubbed more and more and more now. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe that game might get dubbed, and if they put Shawapoof in it, which I would hope maybe they might, maybe I'll get the chance to voice Shawapoof again. I would love to do that if possible, but we'll see. That would depend on if that kind of lines up. I've been really surprised. I mean, like, God, they've done like what is it? I've One Punch Man. One Punch Man, My Hero, ReZero. There were like a lot of games, because back in the day it was like just practically it was just the Naruto and Dragon Ball games for many years. Like, those were like the only anime games that would get dubbed, and all the other ones were like once in a while you'd get like, this one-off, like like a Bleach game or something, here and there. But it seems to be happening a lot more often now. Here's hoping that Hunter x Hunter game is going to be good. It looks cool. I mean, a fighting game fits, it's a fitting genre for something like Hunter x Hunter to begin with. I'd love to see that. I don't know if I'll get to play it, or even if I do, if I'll be any good at it necessarily. But excuse me. Get some water real quick. Here's something. Okay, so I don't know how many of y'all watching are old enough to know of this, but so first of all, some of you guys know, and I've probably mentioned this briefly before. So TV Tome Adventures, TTA, the original version of Tome that I did way back in 2004. This year, I think by August, it will have officially turned 20 years old. I am doing something special in celebration of the 20th anniversary, actually, for April Fools, which I'll probably announce next week, mayhaps. stay tuned for that. I'll probably talk about that in the next Just Chatting stream. Maybe if Zito's actually able to join me for that one. But TTA is turning 20, and in addition, I'd completely forgotten about this, but another Flash animated series is turning 20 this year as well, called Bonus Stage. Some of you guys may or may not be familiar where there's an animator by the name of Matt Wilson, who I'm a huge fan of, and I've spoken with them briefly. Matt was on a Curblog that I did a few years ago that was all about artists, needing to make sure that they don't get taken advantage of, make sure that they get paid and all that kind of thing. No, I am Stickman. It's not going to be a 10-minute of silence April Fool's video. It will actually be like a proper video. I promise you. I promise you that. I'm not joking about that. Matt was also the voice of Paper Ace Chase, who is the green sort of robotic moderator character based on the person of the same name, Paper Ace Chase, who was one of the moderators on TV Tome, and who I also know through the Mega Man Network and some other Mega Man fan sites. Still an acquaintance to this day. But Matt voiced Paper Ace Chase in TTA many years ago for the majority of the series. Not for the final episode. The final episode, Aaron Hansen played him. But Matt has a YouTube channel called Cartoon Drive-Thru, which I'm going to get for you guys. And they've got a whole lot of really fun, silly, weird cartoons on there. But turns out Matt is doing a 20th anniversary special of Bonus Stage. I found this out when I went to check out their Patreon, and I saw that they had a post talking about it, and they showed a little preview of some of the animation and stuff. And so immediately I had to I have to support, this. So I subscribed to the Patreon, and had a very minor back and forth with them over DM as well. And I was like, hey, I'm rooting for you. I can't wait to see it. So I think that's probably going to be coming out on April 1st as well. So I'm just as excited for that as I am to release my April Fool's thing as well regarding TTA. If you guys search Matt Wilson Bonus Stage on YouTube, you'll find an archive of the episodes, because they're not up officially anywhere. Much like I didn't upload the TTA episodes officially on my channel until just this past year. I drew with a mouse with my left hand, and with the line tool and Flash. I attempted to draw what's it called? Evil, one of the villain characters from Bonus Stage. I went ahead and drew. So, I'm very excited about that, because that was a cartoon series that was a tremendous influence to me when I was growing up and learning how to do Flash stuff and everything. So, somebody was asking before, why was the TTA Season 4 opening removed from the YouTube upload? The reason is because I used an opening from Gundam Seed, which, YouTube was like, we don't like that. So they actually took the video down, the Season 3 Part 3, final archive video they took down. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and just have that cut out of the video. So you can still see it if you watch the SWF version of the episodes. If you go on the Google Drive that I linked, I think in the actual video descriptions, the TTA stuff, you could watch the original SWIFs, the original Flash files of them. In the final episode, episode 73, you'll be able to still see the Season 4 trailer at the very, very end. So you can still see it, but unfortunately it had to be cut from the YouTube upload so that people could see the rest of the video at all. So sorry about that. But nonetheless. Scott Azinian, no, unfortunately I never got to work on Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was in New York, I only ever had one audition for Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. I think I read for Mr. Heartland and Dr. Faker, which were absolutely not characters that were fitting for what I was capable of with character voices back then, unfortunately. But that was my one time that I ever went to 4Kids. And I was shocked because it was a very beautifully decorated hole in the wall that had all these crazy like awards and cool like merchandise and lots of cool stuff. And all they did at that point was record Yu-Gi-Oh! That was after they lost all their other properties and Konami like bought them out. So now they are just like the recording studio that does Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's about it. Mr. Heartland's one of your husband does. I don't know who actually voiced him. People said that it was Darren Dunstan, but that's not, I don't think that's true. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Voice credits are incorrect, to be honest. That said, I did get to work with Darren Dunstan on the audition. That was back when you actually got to work with directors in person on auditions, which was a nice, rare thing that would happen back then. In New York, for the most part, my auditions were, I don't think it was Mark Thompson either, to be honest. That's the thing. A lot of, here's something. A lot of 4Kids characters in shows that were done back then, there's a lot of actors that are miscredited because people don't know who like anybody in the New York like voice acting pool are, other than like the 20 people that did like season 1 of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And nobody else knows the other actors because they, you know, a lot of them didn't do social media, a lot of them weren't credited, a lot of them went by fake names and stuff. So like often people would just be like, oh, it's Mark Thompson or Mike Pollock or Darren Dunstan or Dan Green or like, you know, the only people that I know from that talent pool. And then like, for example, there was a guy, I actually auditioned him for a couple projects I worked on back in the day. There was a guy named Ryan Stadler who voiced Dr. Faker. And I think that he was credited because I think that maybe he put it on like his resume somewhere, and then he moved. He ended up not doing it, but he did like a few things on Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And some other stuff around New York at the time. He was cool. So, but and yes, Sean, I do know about that long lost Bang Zoom Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal dub. I've seen a little bit of that because I remember Christy Reed, who directed that dub. Who I worked with on OKKO, actually. She was the director of that show. Christy showed a bunch of clips of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. Oh, this theme. I use this in TTA a lot. Haha. She showed off a few clips of the episodes at a convention many years ago. I think in Australia or something. And I got to hear Johnny as Yuma back at the time. And a few of the other folks that were on it. And that never got completed, sadly. It was a strange thing that almost happened. Cactus Juice. For characters that I yell as, for example, Reagan or Taka, how did my voice handle that? Did I take breaks a lot after a session? Were there any moments where I just lost my voice? I try to be careful to not blow my voice out when doing screaming for characters that have to scream a lot. Directors will often take care of you where they'll save all the really loud stuff for the very, very, very end. For example, like with Mob Psycho, we would always do like the crazy stuff, like all the way at the end. We would save that for that very end of the session to do the loudest stuff. When I did Company of Heroes at the Warner Brothers lot, which was really cool, with Terry Douglas, and that was like mostly screaming because it was a military game. We would often just do one take, and unless like it needed to be cleaned up or fixed up or whatever, they would have me do a second take. But if it was like, you know, full volume screaming, they would have me just do the one, and they would limit the amount of hours in the session so that they wouldn't just have me doing 4 hours of screaming, which was very kind of them. And, you know, that's not cheap either to do it that way. So, you know, that was really cool of the folks producing that game to do that, and I had a lot of fun doing that. The only time that I've ever straight up like lost my voice doing a recording session was when I did the second Godzilla CG film, Godzilla City at the Edge of Battle, where I played Haruo, the main guy in that trilogy of movies. At the very end, I mean, spoiler, but go watch it because they're great movies. My love interest character dies in my arms at the very end of the second movie, and there's this long sequence where like I come over and I'm like, you know, calling her name, her body falls out of something, and I grab it, and she's like crying tears of like liquid metal because she got infected by like a Mechagodzilla virus or some crazy shit like that. And and then I'm like crying and crying and crying. And then I had this big like, long scream at the end, and I did, I think, 2 takes of that, and my God, that killed my throat. And because I wanted it to be like big, crazy, crazy, crazy dramatic. It's the biggest, longest, loudest, most insane scream I've ever done. But after the second take, I was just done. So I couldn't do any more than that. Jotaro Gaming, hey Chris, big fan. Can you say it's Niosi time? Is that good? Or it's Niosi time. Oh, or it's Niosi time. How's that? 3 takes for you. See, I'm a true professional in that sense. You'd hear the pain in my voice at the end. It hurt you. Yeah, sometimes there's just certain characters and performances, excuse me, that you hear in animation and games, and you're just like, wow, that hurts hearing that. Like, my throat hurts hearing this character's voice. Like, my God, that is painful. I'm trying to think of an example. I know that there was something like recently I was watching. I should make a compilation of my screams to my career. I was actually thinking about doing that. In fact, actually, and some of the people in our Discord server for patrons, that's patreon.com/Kerbifer, those of you who might want to join us, we, for the April Fool's TTA celebration thing that I'm doing, the 20th anniversary thing, I did give this several long, crazy, crazy, crazy screams that I put like my fucking heart and soul into. And I actually was thinking of maybe doing that for sometime in April, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think KG Tang reminded me that Akira Toriyama's birthday at some point is in April. And I mean, I learned to scream because of Dragon Ball, so I almost wanted to make a, like, thank you for inspiring me to scream my lungs out dramatically in anime and cartoons. So maybe I will do a little compilation at some point, maybe in celebration of that. We'll see. That could be something fun. All 3 takes were good. Excellent. Oh, come on. I'm still congested for some reason. Oh my God. Voice lines when I need to cry. Do I force myself to cry? Yes, that's called acting, children. Bravo for me. Yeah, the only time that I ever genuinely cried in the booth when my character was crying, was, funnily enough, on that same Godzilla movie, that same scene that I mentioned where I was screaming. I was so genuinely angry that they killed off Yuko, that oh my God, that I started crying. Like, in the midst of performing the scene, I was really crying because I was so angry and so sad and so upset at what was going on in the story that yeah, it just really screwed me. I did also shed a few tears on a couple of the season 2 episodes of Mob Psycho as well, recording, but I mostly held that back because I'm like, I'm working right now, I'm working. So, ever had a moment while recording for anime and games that let you unleash your inner psycho? I mean, Xiaopu from Hunter x Hunter was very much in that realm for sure, because he was probably the most psychotic character I've ever played. Yes, Omega King, you're very late. I shall usurp you from your throne. I will be the new Omega King. Yeah, yeah, Shao Poof is definitely up there in terms of the most psychotic characters I've ever done. I did get to do kind of a psychotic character for one of the things I recorded earlier this year, but in a different kind of way. Oh, is this the Gold Saucer theme? Oh, yeah. Ba-da-da-da-da. Sing along. Da 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 da. I haven't heard this in so long. All your comfort characters are psycho. Sky, I don't know if your comfort characters should be psychotic. You might need to seek some help for that. So need to rewatch the series and the Hunter x Hunter series, the 2011 series. Yeah, a lot of good people on that show. Only anime I've seen entirely in Sub-Aside from Blue Exorcist. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny. There's only a small handful of shows that I've seen in full subbed. Mob Psycho was one of them, mainly because I was trying to research, what was, I wanted to see what was going on in the show ahead of time. Hunter x Hunter, I watched pieces of the Chimera Ant arc subbed before recording them, but I saw the rest of it dubbed. Excuse me. All of One Piece, all of Dragon Ball Kai, all of Dragon Ball Super, I've seen those subbed as they were coming out at the time. Trying to think of... FMA Brotherhood I watched all subbed as it was coming out at the time, too. That was early on to, I think that was one of the first shows that they were, legally releasing subbed ahead of time, before the dub happened and everything, so... Oh my god. Waiting for the Shinra theme to play for extra TTA nostalgia. Nah, sorry, Stickman. That already that was from last time. I'm past that point in the OVA, or in the OST rather. The OVA, the OST is what I meant to say. Oh my goodness. Oh, did any of you guys get to listen to the Curblog that I did for this month about RPGs and stuff that came out with that over the weekend too? That was fun to talk about my experiences with that. And, I think, who suggested that one again? I'm trying to remember. That was, Aloria suggested that one, which was cool, so, yeah, so far I've been having, a lot of really good recommendations from people for, good Curblog topics to talk about, each month and everything, which is pretty cool. So I appreciate y'all. Those of you who don't know, if you are interested, those who become $3 and up patrons get to recommend Curblog topics that I will talk about, and I pick one idea per month to go over and everything. So, have I watched Edgeworld, Nicole? Yes, I have. I've not watched it in a very long time, and I've not seen every episode of it. I saw a handful of various episodes over the years. Have I ever sat on someone before? No, Sin. I've never committed the sin of sitting on someone. Thank you for the offer, but no. No, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny. Back in that day, I watched a lot of Flash, animated shows that were kind of all coming out at the time. I watched Space Tree on Keen Spot, which was also alongside Bonus Stage. Obviously, I watched Homestar Runner, all that stuff at the time. Various things on Newgrounds, that I was following in and out. I did see Edgeworld, I think, on Newgrounds at the time, the handful of episodes that I watched. Yeah, I was really big into that. And it's funny, I gotta mention, in regards to TTA, and I don't remember if I talked about this in the previous stream or not, but... Oh, thank you, Viola, for the $5 super chat. A reward for shilling your patron 3 times on one stream. Congrats. Oh, very kind of you. Ta-da! Joe Grant appears on both Tome and Edgeworld. That's true. Yeah, he was Metaphor. Wow! I had thought about making Metaphor into a secret boss in the Tome RPG, but Joe agreed that it was kind of Metaphor kind of came from a troll-based kind of, origin point, and he would have made more sense for maybe post game stuff, but I didn't end up going that route necessarily. Maybe someday we'll see. Excuse me. Ever watched Law of Talos? I did, yes. I watched Law of Talos here and there as it was coming out on like DeviantArt. And I did voice a character in that at one point as well, yeah. It's a long time ago. That was my DeviantArt days, good lord. I did play a lot of Flash games. I think I actually have an old Kerblog that I did about all the different Flash games that I played over the years, like Super M and Javanoid and WikiWoo and all that kind of shit. Some of those were on Newgrounds. Some of them were on, like, Free Arcade. I don't even know if that site's still around. Probably littered with viruses. Oscar, you love the Tome game? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I think Tome would make a good fighting game. You know, Tome I could see as a cool, like, maybe like a Smash Brothers type of, like, a platform fighter. I had considered that for a long time. The problem is, I am absolutely not passionate about fighting games in the way that people that develop fighting games are. Like, I've met a lot of the guys that worked on Skullgirls back in the day, and they are passionate about making fighting games. Like, they're passionate about doing, like, the balance stuff and, priority and all, like, the kind of programming end of things that really, really need, like, that level of, like, care and attention that, to make them as good as they can possibly be. And I don't have that passion. I'm more of like just the kind of novelty, like, excuse me, all the, like just the, like the creative stuff of like, making the attacks and the move sets and whatever that, that kind of thing. I don't care so much about, the technical side of making a fighting game, which is why, I'm not the person to be making a fighting game, unfortunately. But it would be cool to see something like that. I'd love to be involved with like the production of a fighting game. The closest thing I was with that was Combat Core, which I did the casting and directing for many years ago, and that was a lot of fun. So, I've never heard of Toss the Turtle before. That was one Flash game I must have missed back in the day. I hate every time my allergies happen when I'm recording something. You guys should hear, whenever I'm recording a Kerblog, which I usually do in our Discord server, which you can join if you join me at patreon.com/Kerbifer. I always suddenly get stuffy. My nose gets stuffed up, and I'm stuffy, and it's gross, and I hate it so much. But when I'm recording Kerblogs, I can cut that stuff out. When I'm streaming, I can't. I hate it. I'm sorry that you have to hear my gross, disgusting nose noises, so please forgive me. Do you like Mexican food? I do now. I used to be really picky. I was a very picky eater back in the day, and actually it was funny story. My first time eating Mexican food was when I had a business meeting with Tara Platt and Yuri Lowenthal. I was first visiting LA, and they took me to lunch at a Paquito Mas in LA. and they were so sweet. They treated me to lunch, but I was so picky, and I didn't really eat Mexican food back then. So I just ordered like a bunch of nachos. And I was meeting with them because we were discussing the idea of me doing an animated episode of their show, Shelf Life, which they were producing at that time. And I had just like messaged them on Twitter, and I was like, I'd love to work with you guys. Which, by the way, that led to eventually Yuri voicing Ruby Rules in the Tome 2011 series, was doing that cartoon for him. It was great to work with those two guys. So, but yeah, they were like, oh, like, Tara was so sweet. She was like, honey, if you can order anything you want, we'll treat you. And I'm like, no, that's okay. I'm not that hungry. I was totally hungry. I just was like, I don't eat Mexican food because I only eat like chicken fingers and fries. It was embarrassing. It was so stupid. And yeah, when I moved to LA, finally I started trying other types of foods. Finally. And now I love Mexican food. I love Japanese food. I love Chinese food. I like Indian food. Here and there. I'm not a huge Indian food fan. Once in a while I'll get like curry or something. When I go to places with folks, because a lot of people I know out here love curry. They're way into curry. So, bro pulled out the Booster voice. I only like to eat chicken fingers and the fry. Booster would only no, actually, he'd be like, I only eat rice crackers and oolong tea and then Coke. Genova. Submit. Delete. God, the remix of this in Remake is so good. The like kind of build up version of it, and then like when that like 8-bit kind of like that chiptune kind of thing comes in. So good. I am not a Dino Nuggies guy, Viel, nor am I a Happy Face Nuggies guy. I'm not into that stuff. that is one notch on the autism scale that I'm not into. As much as I am on that spectrum, I'm just like, nah, not to that extent. Not that you have to be autistic to enjoy chicken nuggies. My God. Booster's a Dino Nuggies guy. No. Okay, yes, that absolutely I would agree with. Oh my God. We're almost at an hour. If you guys have any other questions you want to throw, please, by all means. I've tried to cover all my bases as much as possible. You know, it's funny. You've actually now made me kind of want to get chicken tenders tonight, which I might. My trainer, Talon, was saying I need to be having more and more. That's the main thing, is I need to be having more meat in my diet. I tried, after my workout today, where I came back from my session this afternoon, I had turkey on Triscuits with my protein shake. So I'm already trying to have more and more meat, just like with almost every meal. And this morning I had turkey and cheddar cheese sandwich on whole wheat bread. Excuse me, with a cup of tea. So, Autistic can confirm your diet is about 75% noodles. Noodles are great. Thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen? Never seen it. I don't have an opinion on the show because I've not actually seen it yet. So, favorite foods to go for? I love pizza. And I love ramen. Sushi's good. Taco Bell is my kind of last remaining fast food of choice these days. Did I watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem? I did on one of my recent flights. I think this year, maybe? Or maybe like end of last year on the way to New York or something. Can't remember. But it was really good. It was excellent movie. Beautiful animation. I know they're doing a series of it based on it as well. A 2D series, which is cool. So, ever watch videos of Film Cow? Yes. Love Charlie the Unicorn. And I think some other stuff that Film Cow has done. I don't remember specifically some of their other cartoons, but I was big into Charlie the Unicorn. The Leopleurodon Charlie. What about pho? You know what? Faye Mata had me try pho, I believe. And I do like it, but I so rarely get it. I just never remember to get it. One of those things that I just forget about quite a bit. Any game that I want to stream in the future, I would like to stream the 1,000 Year Door remake when that comes out in May, and we'll see what my condition is like by that point. I don't know, but I would like to stream it a lot. So we'll see. Have I watched Kung Fu Panda 4 yet? I've not. I've also not seen Kung Fu Panda 3, sad to say. But you know what? I watched... Hold on one second. Oh, why? Oh, I didn't mention I watched the Trolls movies. All 3 of the Trolls movies. And you know what? I really enjoyed them. I did not expect to enjoy them as well as I did. So, you know what? I wasn't big into Kung Fu Panda anymore by the time 3 came out. I did like 1 and 2, but I've not seen 3. And I've not seen 4, so I'd have to see 3 and 4 back-to-back at some point. Maybe someday. Maybe I will. Because you know what? DreamWorks is kind of winning me back over again over time. I would try Octopus. Yes, I like takoyaki. I have not had takoyaki in a while. I prefer squid. I like calamari more. Squid is calamari, right? Yes? I think, right? Yes. More of a fan of squid. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, mods of Paper Mario 64. I saw that there was, like, a 1,000 Year Door version of Paper Mario 64 that had, like, the mechanics of it or something like that, maybe? Is that correct, I think? Maybe I'll try that. I'd have to see if I could play a game for that period of time. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't want to, overexert myself with my hands before I'm fully ready to come back into playing games again, but hopefully at some point. So, catch Curb on the dance floor, listen to the Trolls soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack. How did I find doing the live action part of the end of Zeto's resolution? I had fun with it. I was not very experienced in doing live action stuff. It had been a long time. But I took to it pretty okay. Corey Holland, who was the voice of Justin from Tome 2011, was a huge help, not only with the filming process, but with directing, because he is way more versed in, filming and live action stuff than I am, like by a wide margin. But I was pretty proud of how it turned out. I moved around a lot, and there were some bits that I'm like, I think I still could have done better. But overall, it turned out okay. And I'm very happy with that new expanded ending and everything. And I'm glad that people seem to enjoy it a lot as well. Plus the little additional animation bit that I added at the end, too, I was very, very happy about, and glad that folks enjoyed that. So, yeah, I and Talon, who's done quite a bit of on-camera stuff, he's invited me to join in on some on-camera classes sometime. He would invite me to come try one of those at some point, and maybe I'll take him up on his offer with that someday. Who knows? I don't know if I'm really cut out for live action acting, but What are some animated films I think should be added to the Criterion Collection? What is the Criterion Collection? Because I don't know I don't know what that is in order to give a proper answer, unfortunately. So. It's louder. What else? I've been trying to make sure that I do at least a short or two. Excuse me. I've been trying to get at least some short video TikTok type thing done per week or so. Just like I said, just trying to find any little thing that I can do every week to keep myself relevant and occupied while I'm healing, trying my best with all that stuff. It's been a little difficult, but I've been trying to find creative ways to keep occupied as much as possible. This week I've also got some physical therapy that I've got to do as well. I've got an appointment tomorrow on my day off from the gym to do, and this Friday I'm going to be seeing that back specialist along with getting some physical therapy done. So we'll see how that goes. And in the meantime, have I ever watched any shows that I've voiced in, like in the Land of Leodale? I did watch a bit of Leodale. Mostly I skimmed through it, and because I wanted to, get clips to post to promote the show. But shows I've watched that I've been in, I watched all of Hunter x Hunter. Actually, here, you know what? Hold on. Let me pull up my BTVA, and I'll tell you guys all the shows that I've been in that I have watched. Let's see. I watched a lot of the Pokemon anime. I still need to watch Horizons. I've not gotten to check it out just yet, but I will. I have watched all of Sailor Moon, the redub that we did. I've watched all of Gundam Seed, both the original dub and the dub that I worked on. I watched all of the Bakuman anime when that was a thing at the time. I have watched the movie Patema Inverted and Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin. I've watched all the installments of that. Excuse me. I've watched all of Hunter x Hunter 2011. I watched all of Pokemon Generations. I watched all of Dragon Ball Super. I have hiccups. Hold on. Why do I have hiccups? Excuse me. I've watched all of Dragon Ball Super. I've watched all of Mob Psycho 100. I've watched all of World War Blue. I've watched all of OKKO Let's Be Heroes. I've watched all of Napping Princess. I watched all 3 of the Godzilla animated movies. I have watched my episode of Yoo-Hoo and Friends. I've watched all of Dr. Stone, which I got to work on. And I skimmed through Legend of Heroes, Trail of Cold Steel, Northern War. I watched all the Black Clover movie. I've not seen the series, though. And I watched the Slam Dunk movie. So those are a bunch that I have seen, that I have worked on as well. So, Criterion Collection is a collection of important or underrated movies. They are restored and re-released. Most recent was Guillermo del Toro, Pinocchio. I mean, I would say Thief and the Cobbler should probably belong to that collection. Comes to mind. Love that film. Yes, Bakuman, not Bakugan. Different show. Different show. Oscar, yes, I am still working on Balancing Act. I talked about this earlier in the stream, so I won't repeat myself too much in case you want to go back and listen to that on the VOD. But I am attempting to do some thumbnailing for the storyboards with my left hand, slowly but surely. And I am continuing to get feedback from people on the script, and I'm continuing to commission Toxic Soul 77 for the character designs. So it is slowly, coming along, but it's still in the early like pre-production stages at the moment. So, ever finished BoJack Horseman? Yes, it is fantastic. Maybe someday I'll rewatch that show in the future. Who knows? Great series. Yes. What else? Did the Tome game get canonically shut down in the 2011 show? I always envisioned that it did get shut down. That the 3rd season that I never ended up doing, where they have like the Tome, what's it called? The Tome Olympics, which was the kind of plot of the 3rd season. Had I gone ahead and done that, would have ended with the game being shut down in the end. But yeah, I think that the ending of the A2Z trilogy is fitting enough as it is. So, you ever seen Motherfuckers? Yes, I have. I actually went to the screening of that with the folks from NYV Post who got to work on the dub of that movie, and it was really good. It was a lot of fun. Beautiful animation. Crazy story. Sorry to listen to my snorting this whole stream, guys. Alright, well, we've gone for a little over an hour, so I think this is probably a good time to close up shop. Like I said, I'm going to try to continue to do at least one of these per week, and hopefully have some guests with me, and hopefully have enough to talk about over an hour at least. Maybe they'll go for longer if I have guests and stuff, but yeah, so thank you all, everybody, and I will be back next week with more. I'm going to continue to do shorts and stuff over the week, or over the weeks and stuff. I always have like kind of a stock of different ones, saved up for different ideas of what I could talk about with those. And once in a while, like yesterday with the Mennonite thing, I just had like the Mennonite plushie thing. I just kind of did that on a whim and everything, and that was a fun little romp to go through. So, all right, well, I'm gonna end it here. So, thank you everybody for hanging out with me as per the usual. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and go check out patreon.com/Kerbifer if you want to support me in the future and get Kerblot topic ideas suggested, or if you want to join our Patreon server. Thank you all very much. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a lovely rest of your week. Bye-bye!